What up, everybody? What's going on? In this video, I'm gonna be talking about Hyrecar. All right. A lot of people don't really speak on Hyrecar, and I was looking up information to figure out how to rent my car and how it would be. I could not find much information on Hyrecar. So first off, let me tell you how the process works. Hyrecar is an app. It is really for peer-to-peer rentals. It's usually somebody who has their personal vehicle and they want to rent it out. Some people have businesses and they actually purchase cars just for rental purposes. All right. There are two types of renters. There are the personal owners and there are the people that go through what's called a management company. Now the management companies, I'll point those out when I scroll through the app, but anytime you see anything like Autopreneurs is one out here, Ameridrive is another one. Now they had horrible reviews, so I didn't personally want to go with them. You be your own judge of that if you want to go with that, but I ended up finding a pretty cool guy to rent from, and he doesn't have a personal vehicle, so to speak. Okay, now what I mean by that is, what I've found out in my research is you want to find people that are renting out cars that is not their personal vehicle. So when you see older vehicles, typically those older vehicles are a person's personal vehicle. When you see the very new vehicles, like I have a 2022 Nissan Leaf, those newer vehicles are from people that have other cars and they probably either lease the car or they finance the car or they have the money and they bought the car outright. Same thing with Turo. When you see people with like old cars, like if you see somebody with a 2008 or 2006 or 2007, that's usually their personal vehicle. It might be a vehicle that they currently drive, or it might be they have another one and this is like their secondary vehicle. But most of the time, it's the one they currently drive. Now, what happens with that is you'll get people that have so much of an attachment to the car. So I would highly recommend to stay away from those kind of vehicles. So the way Hyrecar works is you have to book from minimum of 2 days when you first start. So what you're going to need in advance, if the car is, let's say, $30 a day, you're going to need the $30 a day, plus they're going to charge you a 15% transaction fee. That you have to pay that. That's Hyrecar's way of getting their cut. And then they charge you for insurance. Now, insurance is mandatory. They do not allow you to use your own insurance or whatever other insurance you have. You have to use the insurance that is provided. So with that being said, it's going to be more. Mine is $60 a day for this vehicle, but after the 15% and insurance, I actually pay $88.71 per day. Okay, so you got to be mindful of that. Now, in my state, I'm in the state of Georgia. I don't know about every other state, but in my state and certain states around, I've heard you don't have to put the $99 deposit. Okay, now it depends, because if the person that you're renting from requires it, then you gotta pay it. But if they don't, then you don't gotta pay it. Now, I lucked up and I went with somebody who I didn't have to pay that. So all I had to do was come up with $177 for the first 2 days, and that was it. Now, when you want to extend, you can extend it in the app. You can extend daily. So you don't, once you do the first 2 days, you're not stuck with keep having to do 2 days. You can extend it 1 day at a time. You could do 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, a week, a month, 2 months, whatever you want to do. Some of the cons, their customer service. Their customer service, they're very friendly, but they're not efficient. Okay, you can be friendly, you can say nice things and be professional, but if you're not doing what I need you to do, then doesn't really matter. And that's one of the problems that I found with them is they don't do what they're supposed to do. They do not do what they're supposed to do. So many times I had to call back, and get them to get things rolling. Now, the way the process works is once you say you want this vehicle, you have to wait for it to be approved by the owner. So they recommend that you put it out there for 5, 6, 7 different owners. Whichever owner responds to you first, all the other owners is no longer available for you to take. That is one drawback that I don't like. Because what if I pick that car, now it's my backup car, or my backup to backup the backup car? Maybe the first person I wanted to deal with them, they might have sent me a message, told me, hey, I'm gonna need XYZ, or hey, I'm gonna need to be able to do it at another time. I can't do it today. What about tomorrow? But then somebody else comes through and approves, then guess what happens? You lose out on that person, and that happened to me. That's one thing I wish that Hyrecar could fix. Another thing that I find that could be an issue is the 24-hour thing. I needed the car badly. My car was going through some things. It was in the shop, so I needed a car, and I needed it like yesterday. Waiting 24 hours, and then you could wait the 24 hours and potentially not even get it. You know what I'm saying? And not even get what you're looking for. That's kind of frustrating. You could put in for 24 hours, and guess what? If everybody doesn't approve you, and it cancels it out, then you have to start the process all over again. And then now that could be another 24 hours. Now, once the person approves you, that money that's supposed to come out, that $177 in my case, came out instantly. So you got to make sure you had that money ready and readily available. They can't get it, then they can't give you the car. And then you don't want to look kind of crazy, because then you might get somebody who'll be like, nah, he ain't even had the money. I don't even want to deal with that. After that, then the app is gonna tell you that the person is preparing the documents that they're preparing, copy of the registration and proof of insurance. All right, because that's the way it works. They use a certain insurance, and then they tie it into Hyrecar's insurance. They'll send those things. That could take a while, but you know, once they get that squared away, then that's when you can get it. Now, even though the person approved you, but if they're taking long with the documents, then you got to either stay in contact with the person, the owner, or you gotta have to keep calling Hyrecar and trying to get them to get the ball rolling, because the longer they take, then they could push it out another day or two. Like for me, I didn't even get the car the day that I originally wanted it. I actually got it the next day because stuff kept happening and it got pushed out. That's a whole nother story. I think I covered everything as far as that goes.